A cost of bullets touched Donald Trump in Pennsylvania on Saturday night, murdering one rally-goer and severely harming two more. Welcome everybody. In today's video, we're getting to tell how Donald Trump got shot on the head. They have two torn through the 20,124 presidential campaign, causing harm to the nation's social fiber. The thought of soundness and security in American legislative issues, which had been made over decades, has been significantly devastated. But sometime recently we continue advance. In the event that you're modern to this channel, keep in mind to go ahead and hit the chime symbol to subscribe so you won't miss the enlightening recordings we are going transfer within the future. Trump supported fair minor wounds, but it was near. A photo by Doug Plants of the unused York Times shows up to appear the streak of a bullet cutting through the discuss closed the previous president's head. There hasn't been a more emotional act of viciousness against a president or presidential candidate since Ronald Reagan was shot by John Hinckley Jr. in 1981. It reviews a darker period in American history more than a half-century prior when two Kennedy brothers, one a president and the other a presidential candidate, were murdered by professional killer bullets. Gracious rights activists Medgar Evers, Martin Luther Ruler Jr., and Malcolm X were too slaughtered in political savagery. The 1960s, like nowadays, were characterized by extraordinary political division and brokenness, when a handgun and a willing person might modify the course of history. Witnesses said they spotted a shooter on the roof. It is troublesome to predict what impact Saturday's activities will have on America and its political discussion. There have, as of now, been a few nonpartisan requests for a decrease in talk and more prominent national fellowship. Inside hours of the occasion, President Joe Biden, Trump's potential November rival, stood in front of cameras in Delaware to address the media. There is no put in America for this sort of hostility. It's sick, he clarified. We can't be like this. We cannot palliate this. The president afterward talked on the phone with a previous president, cut brief his excursion at the shoreline, and will return to the White House late Saturday evening. In any case, the viciousness has before long morphed into the bare-knuckle political trench fighting that has characterized American legislative issues in later decades. A few Republican officials fault the assault on Democrats who had utilized terrible talk around the hurt the previous president postured to American vote-based system. The central introduce of the Biden campaign is that President Donald Trump is an authoritarian rightist who must be ceased at all costs. Ohio Representative Jay Moove, who is supposedly on Trump's brief list for bad habit president, composed on social media that talk driven straightforwardly to President Trump's death endeavor. Chris LaVita, Trump's campaign chief, expressed that radical activists, law-based benefactors, and indeed Joe Biden must be held responsible at the voting box in November for the appalling comments that he accepts contributed to Saturday's assault. Democrats may challenge, but numerous on the left use comparative language to depict the part of right-wing talk within the months driving up to Congresswoman Gabby Gifford's near-fatal shooting in Arizona in 2011. President Biden cut brief his end of the week at the shoreline and will return to the White House late Saturday evening. The Pennsylvania viciousness will unquestionably toss a long shadow on the Republican tradition, which begins on Monday. Security benchmarks will be fortified, and energizes and counter-protests close the location may be went with by a recharged sense of unease. In the interim, the party's chosen one will confront an indeed brighter national highlight when he takes the range on Thursday night. Pictures of the previous president dying and raising his clenched hand are ensured to start a show in Milwaukee. The Republican Party had already arranged to create quality and tough manliness a conspicuous message, and Saturday's catastrophe will re-energize that exertion. This is the warrior America needs, Eric Trump posted on social media, went with by a photo of his father taking after the occurrence. The U.S. mystery benefit will too be intensely scrutinized for its taking care of security at the Trump rally. An individual with a high-powered rifle was able to urge inside terminating run of an unmistakable presidential candidate. Speaker of the House Mike Johnson has guaranteed that his chamber will conduct an exhaustive examination. These requests will require time, but one thing is certain. In a year of unfamiliar decision waters, American legislative issues has taken a modern, unsafe turn. The FBI has recognized the shooter who endeavored to kill previous President Donald Trump. Thomas Matthew Hoodlums, 20, of Bethel Stop, Pennsylvania, was distinguished as the shooter. Specialists said they were still examining a thought process. Counter-snipers slaughtered the shooter after he let go shots from the housetop of an adjoining building, agreeing to. Onlookers already specialists are presently alluding to tonight's gunfire at Donald Trump's rally as in death endeavor against the previous president who is speaking at Donald Trump's Republican national tradition. Celebrities incorporate Tucker Carlson and Golden Rose, but Melania Trump isn't on the list. Octavia Spencer gone to the rally, and Kim Novak says it's time to stand with him in reaction to Hollywood calls for Joe Biden's acquiescence. This evening, we had what we are calling in death endeavor against our previous president, said the FBI's Kevin Rojek, extraordinary specialist in charge of the agency's Pittsburgh field office, amid a press conference. The suspect's title has not been uncovered since the FBI is still conducting a biometric and DNA coordinate since the shooter needed recognizable proof, Rick expressed. A few media locales detailed the assailant as a 20-year-old male from Pennsylvania who was killed by the mystery benefit after starting to shoot at Trump and into the swarm. Rick expressed that they have not decided a rationale. We are near to that recognizable proof, and as before long as we are 100% certain in who that person is, we'll share it with the press, Rick told CNN. With that too being said, we don't right now have a recognized thought process. In spite of the fact that our agents are working energetically to endeavor to identify what that thought process was, agreeing to Rojek, we did not have any particular threat information related to this occasion. He too fizzled to reveal the sort of weapon utilized. The mystery benefit did not go to the press conference. Rojek expressed that it was shocking that the shooter was able to fire numerous shots. Trump expressed on Truth Social that a bullet penetrated the upper portion of my right ear, with video film of him holding the proper side of his head. He at that point fell to the ground and mystery benefit specialists bounced to guard him. The previous president sprang up and raised his hand, but blood streamed from the side of his cranium. Trump's campaign claimed that he is fine. Trump claimed, "I realized instantly that something was amiss when I listened to a whizzing sound, gunfire, and felt the bullet tearing through my skin. Much dying happened, and I realized what was going on." Specialists detailed that one RGO was slaughtered and 2 others were severely harmed. Their personalities have moreover not been uncovered, but they were all grown-up guys, agreeing to state police. CNN's John Mill operator detailed that the FBI had distinguished the suspect as a 20-year-old Pennsylvania male from a neighborhood close Butler, Dad, where the occasion was held. His title has not been discharged. In the meantime, Senator Josh Shapiro said that Donald Trump has cleared out Butler with mystery benefit and state police assurance. Lori and I are grateful that his group reports that he is fine, and we proceed to wish him a full and rapid recuperation, Shapiro told columnists. That's all for today's video. We regret the misfortune of life and implore for the 2 harmed who are accepting treatment at this time. I am thankful to all law requirement officers who responded, defended the previous president, and looked for to stabilize the circumstance. Do not disregard to just like the video and hit the subscribe button so you do not miss any unused recordings from our channel. Much obliged for observing and see you all before long.